you want to be number one or number two?
Of course. But like, are we starting?
You already started.
We can make it more than normal.
Hello everyone. I went for this podcast 600 kilometers. OK, ahoj, vítám vás u dalšího dílu podcastu, kdy si dva obyčejní lidé povídají o józe. A jelikož nám pomaličku dochází čaj, tak jsme se rozhodli, že už začneme. Dneska je tady se mnou Patrycja a my jsme se společně potkali na mém teacher trainingu v Indii, na mém jogovém kurzu v roce 2017. A od té doby jsme nějak neustále v kontaktu. A pro ten dnešní podcast jsem jel až do Polska, do Rzeszowa. Chtěla bys něco říct na začátek?
Tak, ja bym chciała bardzo o sobie opowiedzieć, ale nie wiem, czy wy zrozumiecie.
Ja myślę, że rozumiem.
Rozumiesz? Jestem Patrycja. Mieszkam w Polsce od 3 lat. Wcześniej podróżowałam. Should I make it in English now?
Yeah, now we can skip
Okay.
English.
Hey everyone who listens to us, I'm Patrycja. I'm originally from Poland. I used to travel a lot. That's how I met David on one of my trips to India where I was teaching in the teacher training. And I now live in Poland since 3 years. I'm teaching yoga here and thinking of traveling more.
Very nice. Yeah. Where would you like to travel more? Like the most? What is your...
India is always calling me as it is the yoga destination for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get a lot of inspiration when I go there.
Do you have any specific place there?
Yeah, North India and Goa mostly. North India, Rishikesh, the origins of yoga, where I think really all the people who practice yoga should go and touch the depth of the culture there.
Oh, nice.
And drink a chai there.
As we do right now?
Yeah.
Okay, and the Goa, where there?
Goa is mostly North Goa, Arambol, where I used to go. Somehow it's actually happened way before when I used to live in Holland. We were in some coffee shop and the person drew me the palm tree in my notebook and wrote Arambol.
Oh,
and this
so
is
that's
how
why.
Yeah, and this is how I went there actually the first time.
Yeah, because we met there, a little bit away. Like in the Mandarin village is like 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers away from Arambol. Okay. You already like kind of get into the question. Maybe we can go very general. Like you said, you lived in Holland. Like for how long? Because I know that you can speak like very well, you know, the language.
Dutch, I used to, yeah. Now with no practice, it's there, but yeah, it's hard.
So for how long have you lived there?
It's been 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
I spent in Holland first, just after I graduated from here.
Okay. And from there you went straight away to India after you get the drawing?
It took me some months, and this is when my yoga practice started. And yeah, it kind of happened like I got this direction from a random person that I met, and he told me you have to go there if you are like into yoga and spirituality. Yeah.
So your first touch with the yoga was in India, like not here, like at your home place, but the first was in India.
It's very hard to say for me because I actually feel like it was forever with me, and it was kind of also in my family. Different, let's say, dimension of spirituality, and the actual asana practice was like happening in my home where I was growing up. My mom used to call this gymnastic. Now we do gymnastic, and we were doing basically most of the asanas. And I was like maybe 8, 10 years old.
Oh, that's nice.
On the carpet with no mats, just like
traditional
stretching.
Yeah, carpet is the traditional way.
Carpet, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, so do you remember what year you left to India? Or first visit in India?
Yeah, it was 2012.
2012. Wow. And for how long have you stayed there?
First time it was just 1 month. I just went for a holiday with a friend who also started practicing yoga like not long before, the same as me. Like we got into yoga very deep, simultaneously, not knowing about it. And then we met in our hometown in Christmas, and we were like both fed up of winter, obviously, in Europe. And we decided to go for a 1 month holiday from Holland to India.
And you went where?
And we went to Arambol. And we stayed 1 month in Arambol. And just for one night, I remember we went to Hampi, up and down with the bus overnight, and then stayed there over the day. So I literally took nothing with me, not even a bag. And then the next night we came back.
Okay, cool. So after you came back from India, what happened next? Let's talk about like the yoga point of view, because we would like to like focus this podcast on yoga talking. But you can share whatever you want. But after you came back from India, you kind of like soak in the energy of the place, of the Arambol.
I even before I kind of felt like Holland is no longer for me. Mostly because of the weather, but also when I got the inspiring vibes from India, from Goa at that time, I felt like I just want to go deeper and go to other more original places in India, not only Goa. And so I decided to move out from Holland and just go traveling and discovering mostly India more.
So after the month in India, you came back, move out from Holland,
and
then go back to India?
Yeah, and for the teacher training.
For the teacher training.
Because I got already connected during this 1 month in Arambol. I got connected to one school where it turned out it was run by a Polish girl who invited me for the teacher training with them. And so and she said it's going to be in Rishikesh. Wow. Which is the origin of yoga place. So I got really excited and I decided I will do it.
So you stayed for a while in Rishikesh for your teacher training?
This is where I met Yogesh in my teacher training.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If anyone knows Yogesh, he's
they know.
He's the teacher of both of us.
Yeah. And hello Yogesh, if you are watching.
Hey
Yogesh. Okay. And after Rishikesh, you stayed there or you moved somewhere?
After Rishikesh, I went with Yogesh to his ashram, to his teacher, where I started the teaching practice, and it was really straight into the deep water, because they asked me to teach Indians who didn't speak English at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it was interesting.
Oh yeah, so you did meet his teacher.
Yeah, I did.
Wow. For how long did you stay there?
I stayed in this ashram for 5-6 weeks or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it? How was his teacher?
I think I didn't meet him in person that time.
Okay.
Just maybe he was giving lecture, and then I was just like listening as one of the people there, and he spoke in Gujarati, so I didn't understand. But I did get a nice experience living in this place, staying with these old people. Very like original India, because there was not many foreigners there, and also in-depth spirituality, I would say, like grounded spirituality. Grounded in the sense that they had the stone, what do you call it?
You can say in Polish, maybe I understand.
Kopalnia kamienia.
Kameny, kopalnia.
Mile? Kamienia, stone.
Kameny, stone.
Yeah, stone mile. There, so the people were really like working hard. Plus they did a lot of practices, basically. And then what was very important for me there, also I met this teacher who I really connected very well, and he taught me this 3-step rhythmic breathing technique in depth. And that's how I think, that's how it slowly opened me to like go deeper into the practices outside of asana, like pranayama meditation and more yoga in depth.
Okay, because in last episode I had a yogesh and we spoke maybe about around half an hour or 25 minutes about life in ashram. And so it's very nice to have someone like, who can say some from like another point of view, from another side.
And I remember the food was amazing there.
But don't tell anyone. Okay, so after ashram,
after ashram,
because I don't know why I have some like memories that you spent like such a long time in India at that time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was first winter or the second, but like there was one of the coming me into India at the beginning where I stayed like 2 years in a row. Obviously coming up and down for the visa to Nepal or to Sri Lanka. But yeah, after that, I think I was kind of like taken by the wind, literally. And I was just like traveling, meeting different people, mostly yoga related crowd, but also not necessary. But I also spent after this ashram, I think I spent some time with the sadhus. So I went to also like all these like original kind of gathering places of all the school way of this like sadhu monks, kind of wandering monks in India, which was also very enriching to experience. And I will never forget these.
Wow,
it's like a totally different universe as I even think about it now. If I could now do it, like I cannot imagine.
Wow. Amazing. So, do you remember, I ask everyone this question, do you remember your like first yoga session? It doesn't have to be like asana, or it could be like mostly it's asana, but do you remember your first yoga session? Like let's say that you went somewhere for a class. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Cool. So how, because during the years you kind of like evolved even in the practice, how does your practice look like right now?
How did it change, you mean?
Or just describe it how it is right now. Or maybe you can say like how was it before and how is it now?
So I actually started, as I told you, like it evolved from this practicing with mom on the carpet, and then my father also got me into martial arts kind of sports, and then I practiced them for a few years, and then I found I need something much softer than this to like be more in tune with my feminine part. So then I actually started practicing yoga from the books.
Okay.
And that beginning practice was kind of like, from old books, traditional breath focus, hatha, traditional style. That's how it started. Then as I was in touch with different people, different teachers, I think it went more into the kind of a vinyasa flows at some point. Then I went through the stage of like more power kind of ashtanga and all that, more you would maybe say, or some would say like physical focus, where I felt like I gained a lot of strength. And then it moved back into soft yin, and now it's, I guess I would say it's a mix of everything, yeah. And it depends on my day, on my, mood, and on my general, like even seasons, right?
Yes, it's changing. Yeah, it changes.
It is changing, and I try to really now stay open and adjust kind of the practice to what is around me, what I'm going through, and what is my phase of my cycle and all that.
I also, everyone ask question, what does yoga means to you? And or what is yoga according to your understanding? And it doesn't have to be yoga definition, just your description, how you feel about it.
Yoga for me, it's a way, it's a path. It has no like fixed definition in sense of like what am I aiming it. I mean what my aim of the practice is. It's the kind of something that keeps me in certain
Say it.
in certain trajectory of of a life path. This is what it is for me, because I think without yoga I could be like going very much into the extremes. And with the yoga I feel like it's giving me a safe kind of tunnel.
Okay, so would you say that this is the biggest difference like from another path? Like that the yoga gives you this kind of way?
What another path?
I don't know, maybe someone doesn't have to practice yoga or be on some another path, like let's say religion or like whatever different. What would you say is the like biggest difference from these another ways? How to reach somewhere?
Okay, so this biggest difference for me is the incorporation of all the layers of myself, of all the levels, and mostly it's about the body level actually, because I found like many philosophies, many spiritual teachers nowadays, they like have brilliant ideas and preach very good things, but I find that it's very hard to kind of follow it if you don't include some kind of a body breath related practices. So yoga for me contains all of these levels and dimensions. That's why I feel it's super complete as a system to like navigate your life in the good way.
Wow, that's nice. Very beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's jump straight away to the next question. Sometimes it's happening that on our way we are kind of struggling on this path. Like, what do you suggest in these situations? If you feel like, okay, is it the right path, or this is the way where you can, this is the answer when you can go deeper if you want to, like, yeah, if there are some doubts.
I mean, for sure the doubts are part of the process and you cannot avoid them if you are kind of a thinking person or you are curious, right? So it's good that like this questioning comes or the doubt comes. But I think what keeps me going, it's a kind of a trust that I never had with anything else, like with yoga. Because as I said before, for me it feels by the body, it feels by the heart, and it also logically explains everything. So it's complete. That's why even if the doubts come, I feel like, okay, but actually it's already answered there. My doubt, the answer for my doubt is already there. And so I can just relate back, and then I'm okay, good again, on feedback on the ground.
Okay. Usually, people are interested how another people, how to say, mixed the yoga and like normal life, you know, specifically about like when to practice, or they are curious like when other people are practice, you know, if you find your time in the morning and in the evening. I know you said that it depends, you know, on the mood, the weather, season,
Yeah.
but like usually.
And usually it's morning time for sure, and this can also shift with the season or with the place where I am. I mean, the hours can shift, but I think it's important to practice in the morning for many reasons.
Name some.
First reason is we are empty, right? The empty stomach it's a good reason for me. The other reasons is that we think like we are better in the afternoon, right? I mean, the body is more open, so we can like perform better, which I think it's a bit stand aside from like the yoga meaning and philosophy, because we are here not to just like do the body workout and do it best possible way, but also to meet these stiffness, these challenges that actually body shows clearly in the morning. Like the body shows where we have blockages more in the morning, and the body is stiffer, but actually the mind is clearer and more empty, right? In the morning most of the time than in the afternoon or evening, because we are already with all the events from the day and all the energy that we've gathered somewhere else, and as we wake up and go straight to the mat, still we have this peace or the space in the mind that could make the practice more focused, I think.
Agree. Okay. We were mentioned the word body like so many times. And I know that you are kind of like in the practices with the body, like Chinese medicine and physiotherapy. You're like a physiotherapist as well, and you also like input a lot of anatomy knowledge into your classes. So why is the knowledge of anatomy important for practitioners, you know, like on the path of yoga?
It's funny because I'm always asking these questions to the students in the first class. And now I'm being asked. But they told me already, so I know.
Okay, so tell us.
I think it's important for many reasons. It gives you an understanding of potential injuries or dangers, right? Because, you know, like let's say that the knee normally doesn't bend the other way, or doesn't or shouldn't overextend.
Yeah,
let's
for sure.
say hyperextend. So then you know that you will not be pushing through in this direction. I think this is the anatomy knowledge that gives you the idea of the range of movements in the joints. Plus, for me, it this all like the physio and medical background gave me some kind of more of imagery of my body inside, and then through this the connection. Let's say when I know about this muscle because I saw it in a book or even in the like dead body, right? This section. I didn't do it myself. Then I can easier connect to this particular part of the body,
Okay.
or bring my consciousness into it.
Do you think that without the knowledge it is hard? Like, you know, if someone can feel it, like what is safe for body or not?
I believe it's possible when you, especially if you spend a lot of time on this body awareness practices or mindfulness, or even vipassana meditation, right? The body scan, these kind of practices can be helpful. But I think for me, as a more of a visual person, it helped me to see better with my inner vision the let's say, the muscle that I want to use, or I want to stretch, or I want to like release, right? When I saw it first in the book.
I was always surprised. Patrycja was my teacher at the teacher training course, and she taught anatomy there. And I was always so pity of her because usually it was after lunch, and all of us we were just lying there, you know, and just like completely, all the energy was in the stomach after lunch, and you were like so, like not maybe hard, but it looked like I thought it was so hard for you to you know, because anatomy is usually topic like no one is kind of interested in, like not all of them, you know, like they don't think like it's too important when you are at the teacher training course.
Yeah.
And specifically after the line, I can really remember we were like falling asleep there, but not because of you, because of the line, because of the weather, you know, and then anatomy, and like me personally, I didn't know anything before about anatomy, like even a touch, you know. So even in English, you know, the different language.
Yeah.
So for me, I maybe you remember because we were talking about that, like in 2017, a little bit, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Why? You know, and I was like that. Oh my God, yeah, I can remember that. So yeah, I kind of agree that it's important to know, but my personal practice now shifted from the body, like somewhere different place. So I don't know if it's correct or not, but at this time, I feel like I don't care of body at all, but it could be because it's already kind of like checked, let's say. Checked. Because we are Czech, so we check.
In Czech Republic, they keep checking on everything.
Yeah, we keep checking on everything.
I think nowadays people, in general, I can say, like, who are curious and who like to have knowledge of different topics, they like to know how, let's say, body functions and why there are certain reactions, let's say, of the nervous system after the practices, or even with the pranayama, the breathing capacity, and as I say, all these muscles, joints, and ligaments, or the fascia discovery lately, and all these. I think it's, for me, it was super interesting always to study. And I could agree to what you say also, that after some time you don't really like maybe think about these things so much.
It is better, yeah.
But you can still come back to it, like, okay, you know, maybe you injure yourself sometime, or like you pull something, and then it also gives you kind of a safe space of, okay, this is probably the, let's say, ligament, or like that you pulled a little bit too hard, and you know that it will maybe like go after some time, whereas where you have no knowledge, it's like, okay, what did I do, and like how long it will last. I think there could be example of like a headache, right? This is the worst pain, one of the worst pain, that like it's really affecting the psyche, because you don't know what's like, why is it hurting, or what's hurting there, you know. Whereas in the body, if you like, you know, it happened in the practice, or it happened somewhere, and then you kind of understand what's there inside, so you kind of cool, okay, right? Like
You feel like safe that you know what's going on.
Yeah. I think knowledge gives a kind of more of a stability of the mind and safety. But what I was also thinking when you said about getting bored in my class, I think the anatomy is just hard matter because of the terminology.
Yeah, exactly.
And I still encourage people to study the anatomy, and maybe with a less focus of this terminology, because it's all in Latin, obviously. And if you get discouraged by the terminology, then obviously you will never get there, right? But I think learning basic terminology and then going into a little bit more depth can be still helpful. But obviously there is a challenge, like with everything that you have to face at the beginning, right?
I like the thing which you said, that Because I think also a lot of people has kind of the picture of anatomy just focusing only on muscles, muscles and bones, like the hard things in our body, you know.
Yeah.
But you said that as well. It's good, like which reactions are started by what, you know, what is the cause of this reaction, how the brain
physiology,
works.
yeah.
It's also anatomy, right? It's
Physiology.
Physiology. Okay.
Yeah, but this is like one subject in the training, in the 200 hours training.
So from anatomy, we are very close to, or no, very close. We are close to traditional Chinese medicine, and is the correct word acupuncture in English?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. How did you get into that?
Actually, this was first.
Okay.
I mean, like, I was always interested. As I told you, there was some kind of, I could say, like, naturopath, natural healers in my family. Healing with herbs and energy, like kind of a touch, like Reiki, but maybe not calling it Reiki. And so I was always interested into these things. And the first in form of books and knowledge, it came the Chinese medicine. So I started this quite early, just studying, reading as much as I could on my own. And then in Holland, I studied it. I started studying in Holland, and then I did some also in India. The actual acupuncture course I did in India, and general Chinese medicine in Holland. And I'm practicing it now for a few years, since I got the diploma. So yeah, I think it really relates to Ayurveda and yoga, and it kind of fulfills itself. I mean, each other.
What is Ayurveda, according to you?
Ayurveda.
Why is it good to know, you know, if you are practicing yoga?
It's as they say, like, the translation of Ayurveda is a life science, right? So it gives you basically same like Chinese medicine. It gives you understanding of the entire life matter, because there is this concept of 5 elements, and from there the basic understanding of pretty much everything for me comes. That's why I think it's helpful, or it should be really studied, because I believe also yoga is like the path to understand yourself, right? So how can you understand yourself at all or better? Is the way is to, like, get to know about the entire life, right? Because you are a piece of life, or you are a representation of life. So I think these concepts are as well super easy, in the sense, like, clear to grasp, and then if your intuition is quite, like, good, you can relate this basic knowledge to pretty much every facet of your life.
Yesterday evening we were talking, and yesterday you said one beautiful thing, that it's very lovely to learn and get the basics from more fields and like try to put them together, because like all is about, you know, the same thing, and then you put it together. It was very inspired me. Like I said, okay, like I think I should do it. Just like this. Yeah. The same like we do, I guess, with anatomy, Chinese medicine, and massage as well. I think it comes after, right? Or like
and psychology. And these shamanism, or like kind of a modern ways of psychotherapy. Because I think the more like the more kind of confirmation from different views you get, you can be like closer to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it works like this. If I have just one point of observation or one point of perception where I like see something, it can be, you know, I can maybe make it up, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or I can be not objective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the mind sees the reality through the information that it has gathered, and of course it can be that you can like connect some dots,
Mm-hmm.
also in the wrong way, and I may still do it, but I think different points of view can bring you closer to the truth.
Okay. Obviously, you practice asana, pranayama, meditation. What other, let's say, not so typical practices or techniques you love to do? It could be like on a regular basis or from time to time only. Like,
yeah. I love to dance.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's also important to kind of sometimes step out of the mat and do kind of a random, spontaneous movement. For me, it's super important from time to time, not on the daily basis. Singing mantras or even just singing gives a lot of vibration into the chest and the throat, so the energy moves here, whereas with the movement it can like kind of go down or out. So I think this is more like kind of internal, something that I like to do. And then spending time in the nature with nice people.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and animals, or like basically nature, connecting to the earth.
Is there like any practice, because I always ask this question, is there any practice or maybe book or whatever, is there anything would you recommend to someone like to be inspired in yoga? I know it's hard.
Any practice?
Oh, yeah.
Just do yoga practice as much as you can. Do it daily, because I believe if you just go for the class, you will get benefits, but your own practice, you're meeting yourself on the mat, whether it is 5 minutes or half an hour, or it will always develop over time, I believe. But I think this is what I would recommend, definitely. It's hard to talk about the books because there are so many. And I think spending more time in silence or in reflection, not even like, on the mat or with calling it yoga or calling it this or that, but just being more kind of doing nothing, reflecting, watching yourself. It's been very
Doing
helpful.
nothing is good.
Yeah, doing nothing is the best.
Yes.
The best practice ever. It's been very helpful for me. Although not lately, I don't know, like this life got busy. But I am working on it again to come back to more of a free being on the daily basis, not calling it even meditation, but just like being with myself.
Who influenced you the most on your way? It can be more people.
It's more people.
Yeah, it could be.
And
more.
and I'm also, I think this is my nature. I was most of the time I was my own teacher, and I still am, I think. And I don't recommend it because you can of course avoid many mistakes on the path if you have a teacher, if someone guides you, and this is, I think, I'm sure it's a better way. Many people inspired me, but I rarely could say that someone is my teacher, and like all of them were my teachers in a way. But as I see yoga more in a holistic way, and as I said, the path, not the practice only, I think everything is still my teacher every day, and the answers and the guidance I mostly get kind of from the inside. So yeah, the teacher is there.
Let's use the word teacher one more time. As you are or you were a teacher at during the teacher trainings in India, have you ever experienced like some Polish or like European teacher training course? If so, what are the differences from like Indian style of these teacher training courses?
You mean if I participated in one here?
Oh yeah, could be like that.
No, actually, as I told you, I live here for 3 years now, and this yoga scene in Poland is still very new to me, and I rarely go to classes. I went to few just to like see around what's been practiced here, but not in the training, and so it's very hard for me to compare.
Okay.
And I don't see. I don't feel the need to go to the another teacher training for myself.
Like to learn or to
like
teach?
It would be nice, of course, to get the perspective. I mean, for myself to learn.
Okay.
Perspective of different school or different teacher, but I just didn't find it calling me. But I did recently start the teacher training to teach teacher training here, and I find language differences the most challenging.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because all these things I learned in English, so it's super natural to also teach in English. And now, as I have to explain things in Polish, it feels like I have to say so much. And yeah, probably I will get used to. But it's just the first time that I do it here now, so that's the biggest challenge, I think.
If someone would like to become a yoga teacher, and we know that in our, like, you know, in Europe and here we need a paper for that, you know.
Yeah.
Or like it's better. Would you recommend someone to go to India for teacher training? Or do it here?
Do it here with me. Yeah, I mean, there are differences, I think, also in terms of the time spread. Because in India they are intense. It takes mostly 1 month or even 3 weeks. So it's super intense, and I think it can be too much. As we both experienced, it was too much many times for many people.
Yeah, I wrote this experience in the book that I can remember that third week, my body completely like, I can remember it was during some practice and I just felt like, oh, what's going on? I need to sit down. And only thing I can do for next 2 days was just sit. I can't even move, you know, like, yeah. Yeah,
they are intense and you don't get like free time much. And I think from the perspective of really absorbing the knowledge and integrating, it's too much. It's really too much.
Yeah.
So now, as I meet for the teacher training, like twice a week for a session of a few hours, or maybe thrice a week. I think this gives enough of a space, and you can integrate it with the kind of normal work life, which is more accessible for more people.
Yeah, I like this idea.
I think it's good, and then it could take you maybe few months or even half a year, which anyway this process is like lifelong. So why to hurry? Why to rush it?
And that's true that it's like only just the beginning, and also like not everyone goes there to become a teacher, as you said.
Yeah.
You just go there to.
Yeah, but the beauty is that those who don't come for becoming a teacher, they end up teaching passionately.
Oh yeah.
And this is really nice to see the transformation, or the like a kind of a person who is maybe like, I don't know, feeling some attraction, and then he or she ends up like really wanting to teach because she gets so much inspiration. This is the beautiful thing I've seen in the teacher trainings.
Do you have some memories from our teacher trainings? Like something who's like in your head, when you said like 2017 January?
Yeah, I have, but it's a bit outside of the teacher training itself.
Doesn't matter.
I just remember the trip that we went to. It was beautiful waterfall.
The waterfall.
And a beautiful swimming, and this is how we also connected better, because we found out we can speak the kind of similar language. And this memory I have mostly, and I remember it was really kind of transformational time for me, because it was January, and January I would go to Sri Lanka to renew my visa and come back. So I remember that time I came back from Sri Lanka, and there was like a new year, obviously January, and there was really a fresh start for me. And I remember most of the people from your teacher training, and not from all, I remember like well, and I am still connected to you and Birgitte. Hey Birgitte. So it was more, I think, kind of, and Paris, right? Like she was also there, and I stayed connected with her for some time. Yeah. It was quite a big group too, right?
15 or 16.
15, 16? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember Stu, right?
Yeah, I remember
of
Stu.
Course. Hi, Stu.
Hey, Stu.
You're the best.
You were the best always.
Yes. With him, we had a saying like that. If you need something in India, that Paris has everything in her heart.
Of course.
I will give you options of two.
Okay. A and B?
A and B, like two words, and you will try to choose like as fast as possible. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
In or hatha?
Hatha.
Cats or dogs?
Cat. One cat.
Speaking of, Kicha?
Kita.
Wine or beer?
I was going to say vodka, but
But,
just to make it funny.
Okay, wine, beer or vodka?
Water, please.
Okay.
Wine, okay, wine.
Okay.
Yeah, really wine. Yeah,
Wine.
if at all, wine.
Okay.
Unless it's super hot.
Regular butter or peanut butter?
Peanut butter. Obvious.
Now, if you want, you can say whatever you want to the ones who watch this. Like, really whatever. It could be how long we want, whatever. You are totally free. You got all freedom you need. So
If I have too much freedom, I find myself like not knowing where to go.
okay, you have 40 seconds.
But I mean like the freedom regarding the topics, because it makes me feel like, you know, even thinking about the coming winter, I really feel the desire to travel again. And I like kind of have so many options and so many things in my mind that it feels like it's too much freedom, and like I don't know where to start with, and like what kind of, you know, direction to take. And this maybe could nicely be connected to what I said before about yoga, because if I end up like having this too much choice, then I can get scattered and confused. So then this now again, probably how I will make it and how I'll choose it will have a yoga thread there, teaching and connecting to like yoga places or yoga people, or where I'll go there where there is more maybe opportunities also to teach and to practice. So yeah, I think I'm just like started talking about my biggest struggles.
Okay, so you can say whatever regarding struggling in life. If you need some boundaries, let's say.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I needed them, yeah.
Yes, I brought so many good things. So.
Yes, as always. Struggling. I feel struggling is super important, and it's part of the process. And yeah, the kind of ups and downs are the way also to activate the energy. When you see yourself like very much kind of down, or like even with this confusion and so much choice, then when the clarity comes and you kind of like know where to go, it feels like, you know, already a relief, and also I feel like it comes from the struggle,
Yeah,
the knowing itself. So yeah, I think struggling is part of the process.
Struggle is good. Everyone struggles, right?
Yeah, we all struggle. We are all here to struggle. Maybe this can also point a bit to because I think I didn't say anything about my kind of connection to the Buddhism, which came also early with kind of maybe even before the Chinese medicine. I don't know. I was always interested in the Buddhist philosophy, and I practiced Vipassana for a few times in the course, and generally this talking about suffering, right? I think it's a beautiful part that can be maybe missing in the modern way of looking at yoga practice, because it's been a bit shown like full of colors most of the time, and full of like just beauty, just ease, just light, and colorful food only. Whereas I think it's not a full picture. It's not a full picture, and it's not about the only this, the kind of positive, right?
Yeah. Let's say that we kind of, with the yoga practices, can, let's say, easier like overcome or solve this struggling in our life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel so. I'm really grateful for these all practices, or this all energy that came to me. I could not imagine myself now without it. Like, you know, the person that I remember I was before, and my struggles that I had, I wouldn't be able to solve them. I don't know if it's a good word, but like deal with them without the support of all this philosophy and all this practice. Yeah, it would be super hard. And this is why I really strongly recommend yoga to everyone. I think it's for everyone. It can be for everyone. Obviously, there is always some attraction that the person must have. It's not like we can push it into the crowd, right? It's not the point. Yeah. But I think if you kind of like get the feel or get attracted and you haven't like tried yet, physically even, then it's the time. It's the time to start.
Okay. It's the over there. It's maybe time to start, and maybe here is time to stop.
Yeah, the sun is coming.
Sun is coming. Actually, we need
had
to
a
go out.
very stormy morning.
Oh yeah.
And now the sun came out. Great.
Okay, let's finish here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone who watched this.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, you can write me or Patrycja. I will put some contact details under the videos, okay? Like Instagram or something?
Yeah, sure. Please.
So you can ask whatever you want, because a lot of questions probably we didn't like answered, or maybe didn't go so deep. So if you want, you can just let us know.
Yeah. Keep in touch.
Yeah. See you next
As
time.
we do.
You can say some like goodbye in Polish.
Do widzenia. Polish sounds a bit serious at times. Yeah.
Okay.
Do widzenia. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you next time.
Finish.
Now we can be normal again.